Breaking discovery today in JFK's assassination. It is officially confirmed in U.S. government records that the Deputy Chief of Staff of the IDF was in Dallas the day JFK was assassinated. Last month, I submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the National Archives, and they just got back to me today. The reason I submitted this request is because a few months ago, I read a memoir about the former Prime Minister of Israel, Yitzhak Rabin. His widow wrote the memoir in 1997, and in it, she wrote that Yitzhak Rabin was in Dallas the day JFK was assassinated. She writes that Fort Bliss was a stop on his military briefing tour. I couldn't find anything online confirming this, so I submitted an FOIA request to the National Archives for information regarding this trip. Today they got back to me with the documents. It's pretty remarkable information, so let's get into it. Yitzhak Rabin arrived to the United States with an Israeli team of 7 to 8 people. The day JFK was assassinated, a telegram was sent to the Department of State stating that Yitzhak Rabin would be abruptly cutting his trip short, returning well ahead of schedule. Apparently, this means Rabin did not visit the US West Coast and certainly not the Far East as planned. It states this trip was shortened because of IDF decision-making, decisions on routine changes in IDF top echelon due to be had next week. The second document states that Israelis were actually being trained in Texas on how to use Hawk missiles at the Fort Bliss military base. This is because JFK provided Israel with Hawk missiles at the time in exchange for Israel providing information on their nuclear weapons program. Another document shows they wanted to keep this visit very low profile, so they actually prepared a contingency press statement 1 month in advance. You should stress the routine nature of the visit and fact that Rabin, one of many foreign military VIPs who periodically tour US military installations. Also interesting to note, at the time, US policy focused on maintaining a stance of impartiality between Arabs and Israelis. Israelis were upset with how, quote, existing informal arrangements left gaps in the Israeli defense system. However, it was doubtful that the US government at the time would be willing to address that. Questions that arise are, who were the 7 to 8 Israelis that arrived with Yitzhak Rabin, and where were they when JFK was assassinated? And also more clarification on why the IDF decided to end their trip so abruptly and well ahead of schedule.